Welcome back to Koholint Island, everyone. Our work isn't quite done yet. We still have a couple of side quests to do. Before we do though, there is something I actually want to demonstrate. Something I've never done before, so it was actually taking me an embarrassingly long time to get right. But I'm going to cut in with post-commentary because it took so long. What happens when you steal from the shop? So, what we want to do is try and get in a spot where we can shift his attention as he just turns. You have to make him turn to where you are and then very quickly move out of the way. It's a little finicky, but if you get the timing down pat, you will be able to sneak out. Now, worth noting that if you do steal from the shop, your name is permanently changed to Thief. It will remain so for the duration of the file, and the photographer would get a photo of you too, so everyone would know. See, Marin has labelled you as a thief, and you cannot get rid of it. This will not have an effect on gameplay, but if you go back in, the shopkeeper will electrocute you for stealing. It's a one-hit kill. I'm going to let the great Ian McDiarmid take it from here. And we're dead, so that's 10 points away there. Thankfully, I'm not saving this, so we can proceed as normal. Yeah. So that is the most powerful force in the entire game. Instant death. The only time such a thing does happen in the series. This shopkeeper is the most powerful individual in the entire series, with the Cuckoos close behind. We all know they're one of the most dangerous forces in the Zelda game. But, now you might have noticed that we placed a couple of figures around. I believe we put the Goomba figure in Marin and Taran's house. And then I think the very first one we got went in Madame Meow Meow's house. So we have a few more to get. We're going back to the trendy game to wrap everything up there, so you'll basically get to watch me mess around. So our Boo is right up the back. And let's see. Down we go, and we should just miss it and push it off. Great. I knew I was off a little bit. Alright, so wait for that one to go across. Looks like we've grabbed our little Boo buddy. You will have to place each of these figures before you can get the next one. I believe the Chow Chow figure is made available after at the beginning of the game, sorry. Every other one is then available after you've cleared another dungeon, so you won't be able to finish this at least until you've wrapped up Turtle Rock. And even then, there is actually one more that you can't get unless you've beaten the game. We'll reimburse ourselves a little bit. Because, of course, if we rack up some money, we can get a few of those chamber stones if we want. Now, very early on in the game, I mentioned that despite the fact he is actually shy, neither the Boo nor the Shy Guy go in Old Man Ulrira's house. You'll need to take this one up to Papal and Mamasha's house. Oh, we got the Spiny as well. Not that one, this... So, we've placed our Boo figure in their house. Let's go and grab the next one. Making sure we don't run into the dog in the process. This time it's a Cheep, and this one does go in Ulrira's house, I believe. You'll notice they appear in different spots. I think I'm a little off, but we should be right on that one. There we are. Much easier catching this fish. So, one Cheep figure. Cannot actually fly. Honestly, there have been some very strange disclaimers on things. You'd think they were common sense. For example, you might wind up seeing on Superman costumes, wearing of this garment does not enable you to fly. Probably because the very litigious nature of people results in everyone having to cover their arse. Well, there's our Cheep. Also worth noting, if you're doing the photographer side quest in the DX version, you can get a photo here. We will head back in and get our next figure. This time it's a blooper. I'll be grabbing the purple rupee whenever I can. That's probably a bit off. Nope, good bit of money. So, let's see where the blooper lines up. There we go. And we've knocked it over. Oh, great. Let go of it just a little too early. Alright, I think we've got it this time. Oh, no. That's holding. I wasn't going to hold for very long, I know that. But we've at least got it somewhere we can line it up properly. Kind of interesting to note it has a sort of greenish tint at the end of its tentacles. They don't have that in-game. So there we go. And we came out a little bit ahead too after catching our blooper. I think this one might go in Ulrira's house as well. And as for that not so menacing outside of the water, just play Super Mario Maker. There can be some horrible issues dealing with bloopers and whatever people want to put anywhere in the level, really. So let's see, is this for Ulrira? Yes, it is. So there we go. Wrapping things up very nicely. Back on in, and we've got the Shy Guy, which, as we saw, blah, goes into Papal and Mamasha's house. Fairly large figure too. Oh, we just overshot a little. Is that going to be enough? It's holding. just big enough that it nearly fell out. I very nearly had to eat my words there. Don't think we have ever found out what's underneath the mask. Now, some Shy Guys do appear as ghosts in the Luigi's Mansion games. You could vacuum off the mask, but that wasn't really a problem. So, we're doing pretty well. All the figures are wrapped up at Ulrira's place. We have one in Marin and Taran's place. 3 up there. And there's one in Madame Meow Meow's house. And here's our oversized piranha plant, which will actually go in Marin and Taran's house. Should be able to scoop that up pretty easily. Ooh, that nearly fell out. Alright, let's keep going and get ourselves a piranha plant. Wait for it. I don't think... You've got to time it just so it's right on the head of the plant, and that could be a little bit difficult. Got it! Oh no! Ooh. Well, this is going to make it interesting. The piranha plant moving is probably one of the more difficult ones. And the fact I've knocked it over isn't doing anything to... It's poleaxing everything. Let's see if I can pick it up by the head. That worked a lot better than it really should have, in all fairness. I have never actually seen that happen before. I didn't know that could happen. Well... That's physics for you, and it's probably good that they did anticipate such a thing happening. So, we're getting the last of the regular figures after this, because there is one more you can't get until you've beaten the game, as I said. So there we go. Marin and Taran have a lovely piranha plant statue. At least it acknowledged that I'd won it. So, there is our Pokey, the last of the regular ones. Should be able to hold this pretty easily, assuming it doesn't fall over. Alright, stay in there, Pokey. Nice catch. And this goes up at Papal and Mamasha's house. Of course, if you've been paying attention, you'll note that there is still one spot missing, and that is in Madame Meow Meow's house, because she does indeed have 2 spots for figures. The Bow Wow figure is the one you get for beating the game. We have put pretty much everything in their right spot. Let's go grab Bow Wow and wrap things up for this little quest. If I get it right, Bow Wow should stick right in there, but then again, you've seen how well I've done with some of the timing on this. Usually pretty good at getting the rupees. So we'll time it to about here. Wait a tick. And go. On. It was just a little early, I think. And it's rocking back and forth, which isn't going to help. Got it now. Ooh, that was a close one. How is it still in there? That was a pretty good catch, admittedly. And it's still rolling around there. Rolling right to us. So, this is the reward you get. A chamber stone for completing that little side quest. So, we have also halved the price of the trendy game. Bit of a cosmetic reward, but we've done very well. Let's wrap up this episode by placing the final figure in Madame Meow Meow's. So, Mabe Village has been brightened up a little bit by our figurines. We've earned the undying respect of the trendy game master, and we've been electrocuted by an old man. Next time you see me, we are continuing with our dungeon challenges, but I'm not going through the madness of making them myself. I will be using my main file where I've already done that. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time on our adventures through Koholint Island.